Hey guys, Rilhon here, welcome back to another video, hope you're doing well. Today we're going to take a look at my newly finished build of the MV Georgic. This is the first time I've ever built her, so this is very exciting. She has quickly turned out to be one of my favorite White Star ships of all time. So yeah, very excited about this, so let's get right into it. Alright, so let's begin here, up here on the top deck as always. So we have the bridge here. This was enclosed from the beginning, unlike on Britannic. This was open on Britannic, so you can just walk in here. And they combined the wheelhouse and the bridge itself. So Britannic there was a wheelhouse here, and the outside bridge was here. But now they have just one big bridge, and this is what they, what they did during these times and up to today, pretty much. So yeah, further back we have the short room, as well as the chief wireless operator who lives in here. This was quite a big change from Britannic because the wireless cabin was in here, and they decided to move it up into the forward funnel, which is a very interesting and interesting change, and I kind of love it. I think it's really fun. So on this deck we have the engineer's smoke room in here. It's a broken door. Need to fix that. Yeah, that's the same on Britannic as well. But on Georgic, they added a staircase here leading up into the wireless room. Missing door as well. Good that I'm noticing this now. Good lord, oh my god, okay. It's fine. It's fine, it's really fine. But yeah, that's in here, which is pretty cool. And there's also an escape ladder up into the top here. Let's go aft first into the aft funnel. It's the same as Britannic, has a ton of equipment and the, what are these called? Are these the silencers, or is this like the, I think these are called the compressors. Can't remember. Oh yeah, let's head forward again to the officers' quarters. So this is also very similar to Britannic, except that, of course, they made the superstructure front rounded on Georgic. I'm going to make a video about all of the changes between these two ships, but just know that on Georgic this was rounded, on Britannic it was flat, so that also was reflected on the officers' quarters, so a slightly different shape here with the captain's quarters. You can see here, it's a little bit rounded off. Good lord, I'm so sloppy. It's great that great that I noticed this now, but good god. But it is bedroom, sitting room, bath in here. And then over here is just the officers here. I'm not gonna go through this because this is very similar to Britannic, and if you've seen that video, you've seen this video as well. Not really, there's a lot of things different, but the layout was kinda similar, so. And then on this side, we can't really get inside there, but if we go through this staircase here, is the engineer's quarters. This leads all the way back here. It's a ton of rooms. Many engineers. They have their mess over here where they ate. And again here, I forgot to put in the lamps, which is just great. Same mistake as on Britannic. You would have thought I would have made sure to fix this on the ship as well, but no, I'm just stupid. But yeah, we're not gonna go through this anymore. Back here is the sports deck for cabin class, of course on Britannic. Oops, on Britannic this was the same, but on both ships this deck was only for crew, so cabin class was reserved for only this deck. On the boat deck, only at this spot here. So let's go forward again, and let's go here to the cabin class Promenade deck. So this was enclosed, this little section here in the front, and this is one of the huge changes between the two ships in terms of layout. They added a palm court here in the front of the superstructure instead. And yeah, this replaces the cabin class Promenade that wrapped around here. It's a kind of a tiny space, but it mainly replaced the card room And yeah, rip in peace, card room. No one will miss you. I miss it kinda. It's fun. It's fun, I don't know, but it's cute. Yeah, really nice room. Really like this. Nice colors. As with all of Georgic, I love Georgic's interiors. They are some of the finest of any Western ship, in my opinion. Anyway, here is the main staircase with an elevator in the middle, as well as the 2 staircases on the sides. Art Deco, all of it, of course. It's very different compared to Britannic. Here is the lounge, also very different. You will see the first traces of the color red used in here. Pretty much all of Britannic's cabin class smoke rooms, public rooms, were red, so, or had red accents to them. And that's reflected here in the walls. Mainly red, white and blue. I found those are the most common colors used. You have a fake fireplace as well as an altar here where you can pray and light a candle. Aft here is the writing room. No, long gallery. I mean, I just keep being wrong today. Here is a pantry. And then if you go further aft here, you get to the midship staircase with the relocated card room. On Britannic, this was the ladies' room. No, wasn't it like the writing room or something? No, drawing room. I'm totally a ship expert, guys, I promise. Here is the children's nursery or playroom. And this goes down to B deck. Goes down 2 levels, like this. Let's head back up. Oops, there we go. Let's head further aft to the smoke room, which is in here. This is my favorite room on the ship. It's gorgeous. It has this rounded off oval shape in the ceiling here and in the floor. You see the ceiling and the floor tiles. Here's George, but our beloved little kitty friend here, sitting near, getting warm around the fireplace. Further aft here you have the bar, which is different compared to Britannic. On Britannic there was a wall here, and this was instead a veranda cafe. So this was changed on Georgic instead. You have a little bar and pantry in there, and this revolving door and doors lead out into the open deck here in the stern. Here is the gymnasium. Looks like this. And that is the promenade deck down. Let's go back forward again. So here is the forecastle deck. This is pretty much the same as Britannic with 2 major changes. So, or 1 major change, no, 2 major changes actually. So I'm really struggling to speak. Have you guys noticed? On Britannic you had 2 entrances here and here for 3rd class, leading down into their promenade deck here. On Georgic, those 2 were removed, and a new deck house was constructed here, right in front of the main superstructure. And yeah, this staircase was relocated to the middle of the ship instead, leading down a couple of decks. And this also meant that the previous hatch that was located here was moved. So now you have 2 smaller ones on the sides instead. You see this leads down all the way into the this cargo hold here. And here's another staircase for 3rd class leading down. There's even one here to the promenade. Then on the other side is a crew entrance. Yeah, leading down here. So let's head further aft here into the main superstructure. On Britannic, this space was possible to be switched between cabin class and 3rd class. No, that was a deck below, I think. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no, this was only cabin class. There are a ton of cabins here. They are similar to what was on Britannic. It had a little bit of a different style though. Here is the main staircase again. It's kind of a similar like color scheme, but it has different like floor designs. So you can see it's a little bit different here. Here are the two entrances. These were added to Georgic. They weren't here on Britannic. And then further aft here is the bulk of the cabins on the ship, as well as the two suites. So here is one owned by me. So the sitting room and then the bedroom. Then the other side is a similar one. Here are the barbershop and ladies hairdresser. This was moved all the way from back there up to here. And then you have a bunch of smaller rooms, standard ones here. I'll show you guys how they look. There were a lot of these BB cabins too. I wrap around the smaller ones. Yeah, there's a ton of lavatories and bathrooms and such in the middle. Here is the midship staircase. And this leads all the way back to here. So this is a little bit of a like surrounded section by these barriers. This led up to the deck above. And this here is the tourist deck here. Now, another huge change with Georgic was that in the stern here, on Britannic, this entire section was interchangeable between tourist class and first class. On Georgic, this was only tourist class, so first class was only in the bow, cabin class was in the middle, and then tourist class was in the stern. So this is the entrance here for tourist class, the forward one. You have the two staircases here, as well as the elevator. Here is the children's playroom. And we have the writing room on this side. Here is the smoke room, which is pretty much identical to the one on Britannic. It was just made a little bit larger. Georgic had 2 windows on the side, this one has 3. And that should pretty much be it. Oh no, not one more thing. Here is the hospital, of course, but this was the same on Britannic. The isolation ward, not the hospital. With the docking bridge up here. So let's head back forward again to... Is this C deck? A deck? B deck. Okay, B deck. We are here. So... No, this is A deck. No B deck. God, I am the stupidest motherfucker. Okay, so here is the windlass gear. Forward are a bunch of crewmen's accommodations. These are identical to the ones on Britannic, so I'm gonna skip them. Going forward, we have the crew, like a little promenade here, with some lamps, paints, yeah, don't need to go through that again. Here is the number 2 hatch, I think. Yes, number 2 hatch. As well as the first class promenade. You have the entrance here into their staircase again, and this is the lounge. It's a little bit different from Britannic, different decor. We have the skylight here, very nice. They removed the staircases leading down into the other first class areas, and they instead had that be in the staircases instead. Yeah, this leads down here. Further aft, we have some more cabin class areas. I believe these were only for cabin class. On Britannic, these cabins were the ones that were interchangeable between cabin and first class. Here is the main staircase again with the shops here. Here is the purser's office, as well as the enquiry office and mail room. Further aft, we have a bunch of cabins, spawn cabins, with the midship staircase. Go all the way aft. We should get to... Wait, where's the... Oh yeah, here's the aft staircase with the elevator that goes in here. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but this goes It goes to A deck, but then the elevator goes further up here. And then this door leads into the smoke room. A cabin class smoke room. Yeah, let's head down here again. Over here we have the surgery. And then further aft we get to the tourist class area again. With elevator and staircases. And then further forward we get to the lounge, which was expanded in size on Georgic. Unfortunately we have the shear. So it's a little bit ugly here, but there wasn't really anything I could do about that, sadly. But yeah, could have been worse. Here is a new door. This leads directly back into the aft staircase for tourist class. Here's the open deck. And another change is that there used to be a secondary smoke room for either tourist or third class on Britannic. That was removed and replaced with a plumber store, as well as a capstan gear room. This was made larger. The deckhouse was made thinner, and yeah, rest in peace smoke room. Then if we head further forward again, we are now on C deck, and these cabins again were for crew. They were largely identical to what was on Britannic. Further forward we get to... No, we don't get third class. This was isolated, so you can't really walk through into third class here anymore. That wasn't the case on Britannic though. Here is the forward third class staircase. You have it here. Led up into this deckhouse here. And then this leads back, so we have the children's playroom, ladies' room, and then on the other side we have the main staircase here. We have the smoking room, made larger on Britannic, or Georgic, sorry. We have some barbershops on this side, purchase office. And if we head further back, well, there's a lot of cabins here. And oh yeah, the men's hospital was in here. And then the women's hospital here. Same place as Britannic, slightly different layout. And here are the various staircases leading down into the dining salon, which we'll get to later. As we break through this wall, we get to the first cabin class staircase again. With the boarding entrances here on the sides. Here is the cabin class dining saloon. Again, you see the red color scheme. This room is also beautiful, I love this one. Further aft, you get to the galley, which was very similar. It also lacks a door. How embarrassing for me. Very similar, but it has a slightly different layout. A little bit larger too, I think. You have the oil fill stations here on the sides with the engine room or the main motor room here in the middle. Further aft you have some more entrances for loading supplies, and this is also the tourist class galley with the bar, cold pantry, and the regular pantry over here. On this side we have the bread room, baker shop, butcher shop. These were largely the same from Britannic as well. And then as we move aft we get to the tourist class dining salon. This is much nicer than on Britannic in my opinion. I love how the floor came out. And these cool panels here as well. They remind me a bit of Normandy's tourist class. What was it? The dining salon they had. Here's the main staircases again for tourist class. We have the purchase office on this side with the gents and ladies hairdressers here, same as on Britannic. Further aft we have a bunch of cabins. They are a little bit different in layout, but they are the same pretty much as on Britannic. That's the case all the way back here. Small store, and that's the end of this deck in the stern. Let's head further forward again. We get to A, B, C, D deck here. I believe this is third class cabins, and then on the other side are crew. No, this is just third class. Further forward, these are divided up into sections with the watertight bulkheads dividing them up. The main staircase here, and here are the various staircases leading down into the dining saloon. Same layout as on Britannic here as well. So let's head into the third class dining salon. I'm just gonna show you here. Here is the main staircases leading down into this very long corridor. Yeah, this was nearly identical to Britannic, just slightly different in the wall decor and the floor. And it was made slightly smaller. This wall like extended further forward. Hello. This is supposed to be lights. I think I sometimes forgot to replace the line blocks. I usually use them for like temporary blocks for the lanterns, which I swap out later. Here is the third class galley, where they cook their food. And then here is the various accommodations for crew, mainly the victualling department, like the cooks, the bakers and such. Further aft we get to tourist class. This leads down into the swimming pool, we'll get to that later. Again, different layout, same general design as Britannic with these cabins. Look like this, most of them. Then this leads all the way aft into the stern. And let's head forward again. I'm really speedrunning through this here, but this is 10 minutes long so far. Well, not 10, but like 20 or something. Compared to the hour that Britannic was. We are... oops. Yeah, this is right deck. So this is E deck. The lowest deck for passenger cabins. So we have the third class cabins here in the bow, leading all the way forward to... Oh no. This is D deck. Here's E deck. There we go. So here is E deck. We have a bunch of... let's put on some lights. Oops. There we go. Here are a bunch of cargo holds. This is a number 1 cargo hold. It's down all the way to the tank top. Various levels here. Here is the number 2 cargo hold. This has a lot of refrigerated spaces for cool cargo. Then here is the number 3 cargo hold. Again, it has a lot of refrigerated spaces. Then we have the number 4 ones here with the smaller hatches on the sides, and now we get to E deck proper. So this is the entrance to the food stores, where they would have stored all of the food stuff on the ship. There are also some third class cabins here, which was unique to Georgic. This wasn't the case on Britannic. They were added in this former cargo hold here. So we have a staircase here leading down from this deck above on D deck. Further aft, yeah, you have the food stores. They were very different in layout, but the same principle as on Britannic. You had all the different foodstuffs stored here. Ice cream, potatoes and lager beer, gotta have it. Milk and butter, etc. Further aft we get to some more stuff. China and glass, groceries, wines, flour. Here are some more. There's a hoist here leading up into the galley. You have soiled linen, electrical store, drying room, blanket and bedding store, linen. So there's a lot of different non-passenger spaces here. Further aft we get to the motor rooms. So this is the main run here. I believe I skipped over the forward one. So let's head back here. If we head up through this hatch between the two funnels, we get down into the auxiliary motor room, which was pretty much the same as on Britannic, except it had a little bit more updated machinery, I believe. And on the sides we have the various tank rooms and engineer stores, workshops. I go into detail with this much more thoroughly with Britannic, but this is pretty much the same. There's also a donkey boiler room in here. And then here is the main motor room, which powered the ship's propellers. Again, it's the same with the main motors, but there was a bunch of different machinery on the sides pretty much. So that's pretty much it. Here are the propeller shafts, alleyways leading all the way back here into the propellers. And then you have the 4 aft cargo holds here, so this led down. This is a number 5 one with the mail room in here. No, sorry, the baggage rooms. Britannic and Georgic didn't really transport mail as far as I am aware, and they had no post office. Here is the number 6 cargo hold leading down. Here is the number 7 one. And here finally is the number 8 one. And that, my friends, is pretty much Georgic in a nutshell. Nutshell. I'm very bad at pronouncing things, including the word or the name Georgic. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you learned something. Please download the map, it is available in the description. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one. It will be the comparison video between Britannic and Georgic. And yeah, until then, have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.